why is it that we see a higher correlation with right-wing social circles and false stories getting spread?
Um, that's a pretty deep question. So generally speaking, the easiest answer to that question would be confirmation bias, right? So it's human nature to have an opinion and a feeling and then go out and search out the research that supports that rather than actually look for the documented facts supported, by experimental studies that are, guided by ethics and quality control. So all of that goes out the window because somebody has a feeling, somebody has an opinion. Um, and so then they research whatever they can that's going to support that opinion. Confirmation bias. That's the simple answer. The not so simple answer is about 3 days long.
Yeah, and I think too, you find a lot of notable. You got to give Fox credit. They find a lot of notable news hosts that are able to, while they may not say a lot of things factually correct, they're able to make you feel that you are correct, and they're able to poke and prod at things that may be true, but then they insert things that are untrue, and they promote those things as a solution. And
so yeah, it's more and more of the confirmation bias just growing and growing, right? And it's news media as entertainment. So there's a whole psychology behind that as opposed to news media as facts. So you have to understand that the psychology behind, like, this is now entertainment. This is now about ratings. It's all about money. Bottom line is it's all about money. The more money they can draw from advertisers because they've got millions and millions of viewers, the better. And so it doesn't matter to them. They have no ethics on how they get it there. And so, yeah, and again, the left is not completely free of guilt of this. But I will say, not an opinion, a fact, that the left is more factual based. We do have, a lot of research and guiding ethics in what we do.
When you talk about ratings, one quote that really kind of popped into my head was Trump was asked, like about Biden. This was back in the 2020 election. He was asked about like if he feared against losing Biden or some kind of question around that, and Trump said Biden would make a terrible president because he's bad for ratings.
Because Trump's an entertainer. He flipped that switch years ago. He was a real estate mogul, and now he's an entertainer and has been for the longest time. And the things he says on the podium, the things he says in front of cameras, especially on the podium when he's doing his rallies, are all for the cheers. If you listen to him, the things that make people cheer more, he elaborates on until he like beats the horse to death, like into smithereen ashes is how hard he beats that. Whatever it is that made people cheer and rant in the beginning, he will continue to blather on for minutes about, because he thinks that's the entertaining piece and he feeds off of that. So yeah, it's not that much different than media.